And this here, to bring this back and then move them into the sideline, supine for other work, is your knees are right up against the sacrum. And then you just roll back. It's amazing how, like, working lower back and how much glutes come into effect there. And this last one, this grinding gluteal move here, where your knee again is right in that space, and you use their body weight to just roll it in there. Feel all right? And then just to bring it, use your knees as fulcrum and bring that right into it. Okay. What else? Somebody?
Hamstring.
So you lock in the hamstrings, stretch. Look at these hamstrings. Look at the attachments in the back of the knee. Can you see them? That's what they look like right before they burst through the skin. It's like a vein in an angry person's neck. With semi-tendinosis all over the place. It was ugly. We could never get it off the mirror.
Somebody get the dog.
Using your body weight for hamstring.
Are you pushing down on his foot? Or you stabilizing?
I'm just stabilizing. Could you turn over me now? Wrong, please. So, working gluteus and hamstrings in the prone position is quite lovely, because you have the opportunity to rotate the legs so that the surface of the body comes up to your knee. That you can use your knee here. Loosen hamstring. Pressure okay. Seems like your toes are trying to signal me. Don't know what they're quite trying to say.
While you're in that area, are there any things that you can do specifically if people are having knee problems like meniscus or anything like that?
Well, you know, so we're basically talking about the lining, the Teflon-like lining in the knee. Well, you know, it's interesting. I mean, because you can help support meniscus by how healthy the attachments are above and below the knee joint. Because that's one of the things that, along with deep bending, Yes. I have a partial tear in one of my meniscus, but they decided that the only thing I needed to do was rehab because I'd spent so much time on my, strengthening my body around it, and it's fine. So the integrity of that, of just, again, just because this is what's ripped, you want to open your perspective up and work a lot here.
So working above and below.
Yeah, above and below, on both sides. But one thing is that with those partial tears, that even movement like this starts to aggravate the meniscus. So one thing you can do is do this grip where you push in. And what this does is it increases the intrinsic space in the knee joint. And you can get more of an opening that way. It takes the pressure off the knee. And it helps move energy through that area. It helps stretch and strengthen the muscles below and above there. So try that next time you're working on someone who has some knee issues as far as, and we've all worked on it, that you get to a point where, and again, it's painful and you want to work in those boundaries. But try this where you push down in and press into the hamstring and see if you don't get a little bit more openness there. Because you know how the body is, once there's injury, there's a site of trauma, but then there's also all this tightening around it. So to protect it, right? And that action sort of is replicated in how we choose to react to situations. You know how people say, about letting go or something. But the reality of it is a lot of times when there's pain, people tighten up around it, emotionally or physically, so they don't want to get hurt again. But if you think about it, how are you ever going to let go if you're tightening all around it? You can't let go of something, you built a cage around it. So the whole thing is you have to let yourself relax around it more and more. And if you're ever in touch with your body when you have physical injury, or even emotional injury, how like, say, your heart, and it's all here. And then after a while, you're still aware of it, but it sort of shifts. It's like you can actually say that person's name again, or whatever it is. And it's not that same pain. It's like it's moved somewhere else. So the body is like that too in traumatic situations where you want to try to initiate some loosening around it because that takes off that gripping around the area and allows the energy to flow through. Okay? Joints are definitely an example of that. What else? Or neck? Sure. I'll do me some neck. Shoulders in prone.
Gee, Randy, I think this clip ought to be called your potpourri.